Just 2 weeks ago, while doing a well-being check, a Texas police officer shot and killed a woman in her own home. It's just the latest example of something like this happening. Here in Central Florida, a woman says the same thing happened to her when a police officer shot her in her own bed while doing a well-being check.
Tonight, in an exclusive interview, that woman tells investigator Louis Bolden she believes she was set up. Louis?
Lisa, set up by an ex-boyfriend. 49-year-old Bobby Sapp is a registered nurse and has no criminal past. That incident was 2 years ago. And next month, she goes on trial for attempted murder of a law enforcement officer. Because during that well-being check, police said she pulled a gun on them. Tonight, she says a well-being check was used as a tool to get police to her home, and now she is facing life in prison because of it.
He used this wellness check as a way to get me, to put me in harm's way and to get me out of my house.
It was 8 o'clock on a Sunday morning in September of 2017. While Bobby Sapp was fast asleep in the Winter Park home she rented,
911 is on, it's recorded.
she says her ex-boyfriend was calling Winter Park police.
I'm not too sure what I need. My girlfriend was threatening suicide last night. I just came to the house and I'm trying to get in.
It was a 5-minute, 34-second call
Does he have a gun?
She is very well armed.
that Sapp says changed her life.
She threatened suicide by cop before.
I was asleep in my bed. I was not at all contemplating a suicide or suicide by cop.
When police arrived, Sapp's ex showed them how to enter the house.
There's one way into the house, but she was crawled through a window, and I don't want to do that at this point. I want somebody here with me.
One officer lifted a kitchen window, leaned in, and used a clothes hanger to unlock the back door, according to police. Meanwhile, the lead officer was still getting information from Sapp's ex.
I'm asking if there's any weapons in the house. He tells me there's enough weapons in the house to start a revolution.
Then 3 officers made their way into the house, through the living room, and finally to Sapp's bedroom where they see her sleeping.
I'm thinking about the call, the suicide by cop before.
Veteran officer Jeff Markham describes in an interview with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement what happened next.
We're yelling at her to, let us see your hands, let us see your hands.
I didn't have my glasses on. I'm legally blind. So I couldn't identify anybody. They pulled the covers off of me.
At that point when she pulled the cover, Ms. Sapp immediately came up with a handgun and pointed it right at us.
Sapp admits she slept with 2 guns, saying she and her ex had been in a fight the night before and she feared it was him coming back to the house. She says she had taken a sleeping pill the night before, but did not point a gun at the officers.
Then I remember getting tased.
Markham said when Sapp wouldn't comply, one officer tased her.
She still pointed a gun at us. It comes back toward me, then it goes back towards Lieutenant Bologna and Officer Eller, and I fired a round.
Sapp was shot in the shoulder.
If I had been pointing my gun in the way that they said that I was, why didn't they all shoot me instead of just one person?
Do you think police responded too aggressively?
Yes. It doesn't make any sense that they would come in that way unless they were lied to by somebody who was using this well check as a tool to put me in harm's way. It's something that can happen to anyone.
We contacted Winter Park Police for a comment, but the chief said it would be inappropriate to comment since the case will be going to trial soon. The trial is expected to start next month. And you guys, I have to tell you, 20 years of doing this, I have never had anyone do an interview before their trial, but she felt so strongly about getting her point out there.
This is something that I know so many people are going to be talking about. A couple of questions for you. Did police try and knock on the door or identify themselves that they were the police?
Very good question. The officer said during his interview with FDLE that they identified themselves when they walked into the house. But when asked if they identified themselves before they walked into the bedroom, he said, I don't know.
Because she was asleep at the
She
time.
was asleep.
Right.
Interesting
Wow.
story.
All right, Louis Bolden with that exclusive. Thank you.